Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am very excited for today's video because we have a new palette from Nomad Cosmetics. So this is their new palette. This is the Verona palette, or Verona Amore e Morte palette, so love and death. It is definitely Romeo and Juliet themed, and I think it is beautiful, and I am so excited to try this out. I'm gonna do some swatches and at least 2 looks, maybe 3 depending on how much time I have. Really pretty. So this came last night, and I think the inside reveal is tomorrow morning, which is when this video should be going live, and then this will launch a couple days later on Tuesday, and I'll have all the information in the description box as well. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a soft spot for indie makeup and colorful makeup, and apparently luxury makeup now too. And I tend to take a pretty thorough analytical approach to my makeup collection and my makeup reviews, and I have new content every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. So like I said, this is launching on Tuesday, January 24th. They do say it'll launch around 12:01 EST, so that is technically Monday night, a little bit before Tuesday here in Seattle for me, and it'll be $47 US before any kind of discount code. I do have a discount code with Nomad Cosmetics. It is just the word bones, and that'll save you 10%. There's other ones out there as well if you don't want to use mine, but I do recommend you use someone so that you save a little bit of money. This is also not a limited edition palette, so I do want to make sure that I mention that. So this is one of their 18 pan palettes. So they have 2 sizes, the 18 pan and the 15 pan. So the 15 pan are normally like 39, something like that, and are a little bit smaller. This is going to be the same size as like Haunted Europe was, or the Monteverde palette. So they are the same size as that, but this does look a little different packaging wise. So this is the outer packaging. It's really pretty. Normal cardboard outer box that they come in. I love the artwork for this. I think it fits the theme perfectly. Really, really well done. And also, just as an osteologist, anytime you have any kind of like skeleton things on there, I'm always going to be a little excited about that. And then the back has a preview of the colors, and it has a little description. So they always put the destination, the coordinates, and the inspiration, and a little paragraph about all of that here. So this says that it's 12 mattes and 6 shimmers for the fiery hues of love and sorrowful shades of death, inspired by the stories of romance and tragedy in Verona, Italy. So I think this is really well done. And like normal, it did come with a postcard. So this is the Verona postcard. It's got a balcony for Juliet and a little grave there. Really like that touch. And then mine, I'm sure this will come with all of them, but I don't actually know for sure, came with a little thing to the Juliet Club in Verona. So it's a little card that has, you can write a letter asking for basically love advice, and they have a prepaid envelope to send it back to them, and then they will send it to the Juliet Club, and you'll get a response, which I think is a really cute touch. I really like this. So I just love that they add stuff like this, like for the Whistler Snow Lodge, my brain isn't working today, they had little individualized, I don't remember what they're called, like the things you would put on your hotel door to be like, don't come in, or yes, you can come in and clean kind of things. And they have like different things like a moose and stuff on them. I just like that they add those little personalized touch. There's just a lot of thought put into all of their collections. Then this is the actual palette itself. It is very shiny, so you're gonna see my one light and the light from my windows reflecting off of it. Looks really beautiful, but you can see it does open differently. So this is split down the middle. They did do this with another palette. I think it was the Shanghai palette that they discontinued. And I've seen this in other palettes. The Beauty Bay palette that Nikki Tutorials did had this. It's not my favorite design-wise, but I do think it works really well with the theme. So I don't mind it, but it is not always my favorite, just because then you have 2 mirrors instead of one big one. But I do really like the way it opens up, and you have 2 very distinct color stories. So I'm gonna try not to reflect too much with the mirrors. So you've got the love side, which is pinks and reds, and the death side, which if you know me, you know the death side is the side that I'm excited about. I don't really wear a lot of red eyeshadow, love a red lip, like a reddish toned blush, like red clothing. I just don't really like red eyeshadow, but I will use at least some of the reds to let you know how they work, but I am gonna probably focus mostly on the cool tone side. But I am very excited for this. So you've got like a peachy pink, a hot pink. This is like a standard like bright red. There's a rose color. I like this dark red here. The shimmers look really gorgeous. And then this side, you've got a couple grays, really beautiful gold. You've got a blue shimmer, a blue matte, a black, so you can deepen up either side. And then these like dark, I don't know, kind of purpley tones right here. Hard to show off this palette because of the mirrors. Really excited for this. I also think it's laid out really well, so you can easily do an all pinky red look, throw on a lighter color, a mid-tone color, a dark color in the crease. You can use the black. And you can also, I think they're laid out really well here. So you can do like a monochromatic look right here. You can kind of do one where you use like maybe the gray, the blue, and the blue here, or you can mix things up. So I am very excited to try this out. I'm gonna take my watch off and do swatches. I do like to do live swatches so I can kind of tell you what the textures feel like and how the shadows are working. But I don't really think swatches matter as far as performance. They're really just to give an idea of what the texture is and what the color's actually gonna look like. Especially since I have an olive undertone, it helps me know what shades are gonna work on me. So I'm gonna swatch this in each 9 pan. So I'm going to do this one first. So this is the shade Paradise. I feel bad ruining the embossings every time. There's like a really beautiful like sun, like celestial kind of print here. There's a balcony there, there's a rose there, there's a quill here, sunrise there, some swords here, a broken heart, a tomb, like a poison bottle. I think they're really pretty and I don't want to ruin them. So I'm gonna swatch as lightly as I can. So that is the nice light peachy pink. I do like a peachy pink. And then we've got Cupid, which looks like a bit of a duochrome. Yeah, that is definitely a duochrome. It is a pink blue duochrome, really beautiful. I love the blue reflect there. And then we've got Balcony, which is like a very hot pink kind of shade. So that is a very soft pink, but it is showing up on my skin tone nicely. And then here is the duochrome. The blue is reflecting a lot. I see mostly pink when I look at it. And then there is the very bright pink. That is really beautiful. And then we've got the rose color, which is called rose, but looks like a good rose tone. You're gonna see a lot of the trees across the street in the mirror. Sorry about that. And then we've got Love, which looks like a nice true red. Oh, that's kind of an orangey red. That's pretty. This maybe might be more of a true red down here. Really like that. And then Romeo is this one, which also looks like a duochrome. And it's really red, like a really true red with a pink flip. So there's Rose. There is the red. It's looking more orange on camera. It's looking more true red in person. So we'll see what it looks like when I edit. And there is that one. So that one is showing up very pink there, but it does have a red base. So that's really pretty. If you know me, I don't really like red and I don't really like monochromatic looks and monochromatic palettes. So this is not these are really pretty tones, but it's not really like exciting for me, except for this one and the shimmers. But I am very excited to use this side. And then the last 3 on this side are light. That is very soft. A little less orange red. So this is definitely more orangey red and this is more true red. We've got Comedy, which also feels nicely textured, like a little thick, but not like a bad thick. And that is red with an orange running through it, really beautiful. And then Quill. Quill is really soft. And that's the kind of red I like. It's also the kind of red lip I like. So there is, yeah, so you can see this is much more orange and this is more red. So I will probably do something with the orangey red and this dark color. And that's really pretty. And there's the dark shade. I really like that. So I did not leave enough room and space this very well. So I'm probably gonna end up down on my elbow, but I'm gonna keep swatching so you can see the whole thing together. So the next shade is Tomb, which is just a gray, a light gray. It's a really pigmented gray. We've got more. It's in cursive, so it's a little hard to read. This is the shade I'm most excited about. Really beautiful gold, kind of a pale gold with a little bit of a green to it. And then Inferno is the darker gray, really pretty. So there's the pale gray. There's the gold. The gold looks really pretty. So it swatched out doesn't have a lot of a base, but it does flip really gold. And then here's the slightly darker gray. Yeah, you can't really see that in the swatch. I see it a lot in person. It's reflecting the light a lot. It just doesn't really have a base color. So we'll see how that looks on the eye. I will definitely use that shade. Okay, so then we've got Juliet, which is the blue shimmer. Feels a little less textured than these three. Really pretty, really like that. It's blue, but it's got like a periwinkleness to it as well. Death is a black. It's a very nice black. Poison is a dark blue, and you know I'm gonna use that. Beautiful, that's my favorite kind of blue. So there's the blue shimmer. These three shimmers definitely have more body to them. These feel a little thinner. Black and the blue, that's a very pigmented blue. So I will at least do like one look for each side, I think, and then I want to do something combining them, but we'll see what I have time for. And then the last three are going to be Dagger, which looks kind of purpley, kind of purple gray, mauve-y gray, really pretty. And then we've got Tragedy, which looks like another duochrome. That's gorgeous. So that is like a purple there, and then it's like gold when I look at it this way. Really pretty. I might have to use that. I was not planning on using that one today, but I might have to. And then we've got Dark. Really nice. So last three. That is really beautiful. Like, I don't know if they're calling it a multi-chrome, but it looks pretty multi-chrome-y to me. It's at least a really nice duochrome of purple. It's like a black-based duochrome, so it's got the purple to a gold, but like a really interesting gold. So I'm excited to use that. So I think this is a really cute color story. I like some of the tones here. I probably won't use these very much, but I am very, very excited to use these. And I think you could probably do some really interesting pairings because these are more blue-purple. I think they'll pair really nicely with these red tones. So I'm excited. I'm gonna go wash my arm off and I will be right back to start some looks. Okay, so I am very excited. I don't have the most time today. It's been a very busy Friday and drag race is tonight and starts in an hour. Because even though we're on the West Coast, we get to watch it at the same, our login plays it for the East Coast time. So I will probably be editing this video tipsy after Drag Race later tonight, but I need to finish filming before I can edit. I am going to put on some Urban Decay primer and jump in. I might do this side first, and I think I want to try doing. Sometimes I do really dramatic looks that like take up my whole eye and come up to here. And then sometimes I do more everyday looks. I think I'm gonna stick with more everyday looks where they're colorful, but they're not as huge, just because that's what most people are gonna wear most of the time, even myself. So I'm gonna put a little bit of primer down and get started. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do the Death side first because I wanna put that on this eye, and it's just the one I'm more interested in doing. So I'm going to grab a nice fluffy brush. Let's see. I'm gonna grab a Rephr 1 brush and I'm gonna go into the shade Inferno. If you are really pale, you can always start with Tomb, but I'm gonna pick up Inferno. I think that'll work well. I'm gonna brush a little bit of that throughout my crease. The reason I don't like this design very much is it's hard to use the mirrors, at least for filming. If it's on my table, like if I'm just sitting here, I can easily, you know, hold it up like this and look, and it's a nice quality mirror. But for filming, it makes it a little hard. So I did grab my Juno Birch Trixie Cosmetics mirror. So I'm gonna run this lightly. Okay, that's a little darker on the eyes than I thought maybe. I'm gonna run that through here and do a nice bluey smoky eye. That is a very pigmented gray, and you can see it's not overly dark. I would probably use the other one to blend the edges, but I did want to use that as the base for this look. This is a good gray if you wanted to do a smoky eye, but like black is a little hard for you. You could definitely use this. And there's also a black here, so you could do like an all matte smoky eye pretty easily. Okay, so it is blending out really nicely with zero issue. I don't even think I need to use the lighter one, but you could if you wanted. And I will actually, I'll take a little bit of Tomb, the light gray, and I will just put it right here. Yeah, it's much more ashy gray. Inferno is a really nice gray. And I just wanted to have a nice base there. So you can see when I'm holding my eye open, you can still see the color, but it's not like way up here or anything, and I'm not blending it out any farther than that. I'm going to leave it there. And then next I'm gonna grab a small brush. I'm gonna pick up Poison, the dark blue, and I really wanna see how well that performs. I have other blues from Nomad, and generally it's all great quality, but you know, new palette, wanna try it out. Plus it's my favorite color. So I'm just gonna stamp a little bit right here and see how it works. It's very pigmented. I'm gonna dip in one more time. And I'm gonna stamp a little bit more here. I like to kind of like create the wing shape that I want, the lifted shape, by dragging it in this way. And I'm just lightly tapping and kind of like kind of lightly blending as I tap. And now that basically all of the product is where I want, I'm gonna blend that into the gray. You could also start with the blue and blend the edges with the gray, but I did not feel like doing that today. And then always remember to go back in with your first brush and a little bit more of that shade and make sure everything's nice and blended. Really like the way that looks. They blended together really nicely and the blue didn't really fade away at all. And if you wanted it even smokier, you could definitely add the black. But I really like this. This is a easy way to wear blue. I did say I would like to do some videos on how to wear blue eyeshadow in an everyday way. This is a nice smoky way to do it, where if you like a smoky eye, this is a nice way to include blue without going as colorful or as dramatic. So I really like that. Let's try out a shimmer and then we'll figure out what I want to do with the lower lash line. Okay, so I think I'm gonna try the gold shade from the top of that side. So I really love this kind of color and I really like it with blues, so I'm gonna try that. And I'm gonna use my finger. It does feel a little thinner. Like it doesn't have as much base as like the Tragedy shade or the shades from the red side of the palette. So I think a finger is gonna be my best bet. I did try a little swatch with my brush and I just didn't want to pick up on my brush as well as a finger. So I'm gonna try tapping that on the lid. That's really pretty. It is a thinner formula. I feel like this shade could be a topper if you wanted it to be. Like you could use a brush and tap it over another shade and it would make a really nice topper. It's very sparkly. Because this is PR that I got before the launch, I don't actually have a description of each shade on what the formulas actually are. I normally like to have that, knowing like this is a topper or this is this. But I don't have that. The problem with my finger is I tend to be a little messy. But I don't mind a little bit of sparkle. Like if I just go like that, you can see the sparkle kind of goes up now. So this is definitely more of a topper shade, I would say. Because if I just tap it up here, you can see it on my brow bone and it adds just like a nice gold sparkle, but I really like that. So I'm okay with that. But I do want to let you know in case you have trouble with those kind of shades. It's not as sheer of a topper as I've seen before, and it doesn't feel like the ones they had in their Santa's Village palette. It is not like those. Those were more smooth and like more of a highlighter consistency. This is definitely way sparklier. So really, like, this is the kind of look I do all the time. A little bit of a blue smoky eye with some kind of gold or lighter color sparkle. So I really like that. I'm gonna pick up a pencil brush and pick up the Blue Shimmer Juliet, and I'm gonna put that on my lower lash line just to see how that looks. So I'm just putting it right here. Just adding little layers to see what I think. I think this would be a really nice shade as a wash all over the lid, because it's also not as thick and metallic as some of the others. And then taking the same brush, I'm just picking up a little bit more of the gray color, and I'm gonna kind of blend the two halves together. Okay, so I really like the way that looks so far. I do really want to try those bottom three colors, the Dagger, Dark, and Tragedy. This would make a really beautiful look, but it's such an easy, obvious choice. I'm trying to think of other things to do. Okay, so now I'm gonna try the reds on this side, and then I'll finish mascara and stuff at the end. I'm gonna start with the dark shade on this one because I really want it to be the prominent color. So I'm gonna pick Quill, the dark red. I'm gonna put that on my outer corner, and I'm just using a big pencil brush. So I'm just going to kind of tap right here. It's really pretty. This is my kind of red. And I'm just going to tap that where I want and kind of lightly blend the edges, but I want it to be mostly the outer corner. And then taking a small little brush with nothing on it, I'm just gonna blend a little and just see how well this one blends out. And then just picking up a little bit and kind of blending it into the crease. I do like that it's blending out red still and not turning pink, but it is a darker red, so I'm not surprised. It's not like the darkest red, but if I want a really dark blood red, I pick the one from Haunted Europe. And then I'm gonna pick, using the same little small fluffy brush, I'm gonna pick up Love, the shade from the center that had a little bit of orange to it, tap off the excess, and I'm gonna place that on the inner part of the crease. Pigmented and definitely more of an orange red. So it's very monochromatic, but there are very big distinctions. So you could do a fully red look, you could do light and Quill and just keep it like red. You can include Love for a little bit of orange. You can throw Balcony or Rose in there and have it just be a very pink color eye look. I really like that. For being a 9 pan of reddish tones, there's a lot of distinction. I think if we're gonna do a monochromatic color story, which that half is pretty monochromatic, it needs to be very versatile. And then I'm just blending that here. It blended out really nicely. And actually on this side, I think I'm gonna pick up a little bit of dark, which was the shade down here, because it's a little bit of that reddy purple mauve. I think it'll mix with Quill nicely. Right, it deepens it up a little bit. It makes it a little bit more similar to the blood red shade in Haunted Europe. Really like that. Quill is like a dark, like a bricky red, And this just adds a little bit more depth without having to go into the black, which I could use the black, but I really wanted to see how smoky you could go without having to use the black, especially if you're intimidated by blacks. Black eyeshadow is great and I use it a lot, but it can be intimidating for a lot of people. Actually, I will try the black a little bit. So this is the shade Death. I picked it up on another tiny little brush and I just did literally a tap, and I'm just gonna tap where I want it, right on the outer part of the lid, and then using that same brush kind of blend it in. A good black eyeshadow should blend in and deepen the shades without just, you know, turning muddy. And that looks like it worked well. So picking up a little bit more dark. I think I'm gonna grab light. I thought about picking Dagger up or one of the pinks, but I think I'm gonna pick light, which is the more true red, and I'm gonna put that down here because I wanna see how it looks in comparison to the more orangey red Love. So I'm just gonna put a little bit right here. Yeah, you can definitely see a lot more orange in this, a lot more warmth. So that is good to know. And I will fix the edge later. And I'm picking up a little bit of the Paradise shade, the like peachy color, and I'm using that to kind of soften this. And then using the same little packing brush, I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of Quill and Dark. I'm just kind of mixing them. And I'm gonna put that right here. And I think I could do, you know, very monochromatic and do the red gold over this, but I think I'm gonna try the duochrome Cupid, which is the blue pink, and just see how that looks. I might throw one of the other ones on here too, but we'll see. So I'm just picking that up on a Rephr 21 brush and putting that right here. So it's pulling very blue. I think this would work really well with the pinks, or you could use it with the blue matte. It's pulling very blue. You could do a really interesting look where you do the red mattes on one side, the blue on the other, and switch the shimmers. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Romeo and put that in the middle. And that's that red-pink duochrome. It has kind of a nice wet sparkle to it, really beautiful. These would be really shiny over a glitter glue. I just don't feel like wearing one today. Because I'm wearing two different looks, I'm not gonna be wearing these all day. I really like that. I like the contrast of the pinky blue tones against the red, so it's not just strict monochromatic red. Really like that. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera and throw mascara and stuff on, and I'll be right back. I don't think there's really necessarily an inner corner shade in this palette, so I'm just gonna throw my highlighter on my inner corner, but I'm fine with that. Okay, so I'm back and I just added some mascara and a little bit of highlighter on my inner corner. I really like both of these looks. I'm definitely more inclined to wear this. This is more of a, I mean, even, especially without the blue underneath, just the blue and grays and the sparkly gold or the blue shimmer, much more likely to wear that than this, but I do think this is really pretty and they worked really well. So far really good quality. I am gonna go ahead and wipe this off and do another look. I think I wanna try that Tragedy shade. I just need to. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash this off and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I just went ahead and wiped that off. And I do have a little bit of mascara left, but it's fine. I'm going to try a third look, and I think I'm gonna do the obvious and use these bottom three. They're just really calling to me. First it was the blue, and I had to use that. But now that I've like swatched everything, I just have to use those. So I'm going to use those. I'm gonna start with Dagger, the lighter shade, put Dark on the outer corner and into the crease, and then I'm gonna put this shade on it. I need to know if it's a multi-chrome, duochrome, like I need to have it on my eyes. I also think it'll go well with my shirt. So I am also losing my lighting. The sun is starting to set, so I want to finish this quickly. So I'm gonna grab Dagger on a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna throw that into the crease. So I'm gonna stamp that right here. That's a very pigmented shade, and I'm gonna blend that into the crease. That is blending really beautifully. I really like that. I'm gonna do that to the other side real quick. So I always put the shadow down where you want the most pigment, and if it's a good shadow, it shouldn't just stick there. It should then let you blend out, which is what I'm doing here. I don't set my base either. I just use the Urban Decay primer as is. If you have a really sticky one, you might need to set it, but a good shadow should diffuse. It shouldn't just like stick only where you initially set it. I'm gonna have to fix the outer corner. That is a really nice shade. I feel like it could look bruisey on the wrong skin tone though. And then I'm gonna pick up another rougher 26, just the big pencil brush. I'm gonna pick up Dark. Really like that. I think if you were worried about the first shade, Dagger, being a little too cool tone for you, I would probably start with Dark and then blend the edges out. And I'm just packing that where I want it here and blending it into the crease. Because this is a little more purple and a little richer in tone. You don't always have to start with the lightest shade. You can definitely blend out. You just have to be very careful with your placement. And then I'm picking up the brush I did the blue with, and I've cleaned it off so there's no more blue. It just needs to be washed now, and I'm just blending that together. Really like that. Really beautiful purpley tone. Okay, so I'm gonna run the same colors under my lash line and repeat on the other eye, and I'll be right back to do the shimmer. Okay, so now that I have a nice purpley look all over my eyes and look a little insane, I'm going to put Tragedy all over the lid. So I'm picking that up on a clean Rougher 21 brush. And I'm gonna place that right here. So this again feels like it might pick up better with a finger, so I'm gonna try that too. But it is a really beautiful color, really unique. So here's my finger. Much better with a finger. Oh, it's so pretty. So metallic. So I'm trying to see if I can capture the shift. Okay, so if I put the mirror here and reflect the light, you can see that green and gold. It's so pretty, and also you can see some of my boobs. I think I have another shade, even in singles, that is quite like this. So I'm gonna put that on this lid as well. Really easy with a finger. Okay, and I think it looks better on this side where I only used my finger, where I layered a lot on. It looks a little more metallic. It kind of looks like I put it over a glitter glue on this eye. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera real quick and add mascara and stuff again, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I added mascara, and then I put a little bit of that green topper shade right here. I put a little bit of that on my inner corner. It is very sparkly, so if you like a smooth inner corner, I wouldn't suggest it, but it does add a nice little pop of sparkly gold, which I do really like, and I think looks nice next to this shifty shade. So really happy I threw this look on too. As soon as I swatched them, I knew I needed to do this, and I can't get over how pretty this shimmer is. And the mattes performed just as well as I expect them to do from Nomad. So really happy with this palette. Obviously this is a first impression. I have only just opened this and just tried it out because it is coming out in a couple days. But so far I am very, very impressed. Like always, I will keep using this off camera and let you know at the end of the month what I think. But I think if you are interested in picking this up on launch, I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you like this color story and this theme, I think you will really like this. Especially if you're a fan of red eyeshadow. I think you've got all your different red and pink tones here beautifully, and then I think the cool tones pair beautifully with it. So I am very excited. I think they did a really great job, and I think this fits the theme perfectly. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, this launches on Tuesday around midnight for $47 before discount code. Discount codes normally save you 10%, so you'll save $4.70. I think this is really pretty, and I am very thankful that Nomad sent this to me and that I'm still on their PR list this year. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the 3 different looks, which are your favorite. I think my favorite might be the blue, but this is up there too. So maybe this and the blue are tied for me, but I'm also biased. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.